Hey coin collectors and Star Wars fans. Today I'm going to go through a couple of cool unique pieces of Star Wars silver that have been recently released and one that was released last year, and just go for a bit of an update of some Star Wars silver that looks pretty cool. So I've got first of all the Royal Mint from the UK. They're second in the series of the Star Wars bars, silver bars. This is the dark side, as you can see here. A very cool piece of silver. So they come out in 70,000 in the 1 ounce silver, as you can see here. 6,000 in a 10 ounce, so a nice bigger piece of silver, and then there's also gold ones coming out as well. So this is pretty cool. So as you can see, I've got both of these, and I absolutely love the Star Wars kind of themed products, especially when it comes into silver. I'm not into the coins personally, but I do like the silver because they can be a bit more collectible personally in the long term. So it's something quite unique. So the very first one that came out has already sold out of the Royal Mint. So it just shows at 70,000 that there is collectability within that. So as we can see here, we've got Darth Vader, obviously the most infamous dark side person when it comes to Star Wars. And we've also got a Stormtrooper and the Death Star. So three very key items that you would think from the dark side. And they actually really, from a quality point of view, you can really see the detail of all of those, which is really, really cool and unique. On this side, we've obviously got Star Wars with the Royal Mint. And we can see the kind of the Death Star there with the 1 ounce 4/9 fine silver by the looks of it. Also a key thing, it's got the Disney logo there, which I think does add a little bit more collectability because obviously is 2024 Royal Mint UK, and with both branding at the top. So I think that just makes it a bit more official, which definitely makes it quite collectible from that aspect. So it's a thin piece of silver, as you can see there. And I can compare it to the very first light side one that has come out. Obviously, it was also this year. So as we can see here, we've got Luke Skywalker at the back there. We've got Princess Leia, and we've got Han Solo at the front there. So some of the key characters. Now, one thing that was a little bit amiss for me is missing Yoda. Yoda, for me, from the light side, is kind of a key kind of character, and there's some other cool characters in there like Obi-Wan Kenobi and Chewbacca and all those kind of other key characters that I think of Star Wars. Is kind of something that's a shame that they've kind of missed those and maybe made a couple of light side and a couple of dark side, or vice versa. So for me, that's a little bit of a miss when it comes to these, but it does look pretty cool. You can see the lights there with all the light around Star Wars. That's kind of like your opening trailer at the start of the movie, so that really, really pops out, especially on this side. So it's got that nice proof-like finish, where this one not as clear as this one. I really like this one here. So as you can see, the designs are pretty similar when it comes to the packaging. Obviously black for the dark side there, so they do stand out pretty well. I'd love to know in the comments below, do you have these, and is it something that you want? So you can see here, even up here, it's more frosted, so this finish is not as proof-like finish as this one. So there's definitely a different finish between these two, where this one's definitely a proof-like finish, and that one's got almost a light matted finish there, so it doesn't give that shinier look, which is a little bit of a miss. But I suppose they don't, if that stood out too much, it probably wouldn't make the characters stand out as much. But love to know what you personally think of those, and is it something worth collecting, and what do you think the collecting value in the future will be? And now another cool thing that I got is this one here. This is a Beskar bar. So it's also known as Beskar steel or Mandalorian iron. So they're the kind of key things that people refer to from the Mandalorian movie series within Star Wars. So this is actually made in New Zealand, and it's actually a coin, so which is pretty cool. So as you can see here, it's a 2024 coin, $2, 1/20 ounce of silver. So I think that's pretty unique to have this Beskar bar within the actual series. And now I've got all these kind of different ones as part of a Star Wars kind of silver collection. So key thing with this one from the Mandalorian series, this was used to make the Mandalorian armor. It's also part of the ships and some of the swords and all those kind of things. So it was one of those things that if you shot at or used a sword against, it wouldn't damage the actual person that was wearing the Mandalorian armor made for this. It was also a form of currency. So a bit like gold and silver is today transacted between people for money. If you had one of these bars, you could use it as a payment kind of method as well. So very much similar. So I thought these are pretty cool. Would be pretty cool to get a 10-ounce one as well. That's just like a nice bigger one, but having a little small one. These are only limited to 50,000, so not a very high mintage on these as well, which makes it slightly more collectible. So you got 70,000 on these and 50,000 on these ones, and this is the second year, I believe, 2024 edition. So obviously 2023 was the very first year, and I'll probably look at getting that as part of it. It would be cool if they came in a capsule. That would be something that add to it, or like a little one like this. I prefer that, but as you can see here, they're quite narrow and tall, so to replicate the more of the shape of the actual Beskar bar that's within the Mandalorian movie. So we're also coming close to the 50-year anniversary of the first movie. So the very first one was in 1977, so we're not far off it. So I'm sure in that year we're going to see a lot more Star Wars products hit the market, having the 50-year anniversary. So it'll be interesting to see if these increase in value over that year, given that there'll probably be a lot more push for marketing products within that year, having the 50-year anniversary within that, or if it's not something that you think will add any value. But for me, I think they're certainly something cool. It'll be interesting to see in like 5-10 years time if they're collectible or not. I think something like Star Wars is timeless. It's people are always looking to collect Star Wars memorabilia and certain items, and having these at such high quality, made by a Royal Mint, World Mint, I think does add a little bit more collectability to it. It is a licensed product on top of that, so I think that does help to add to its collectability potentially in the long term. But I'm happy either way. It's still a bit of silver, and it's always nice to have more and more silver as part of my collection and to build it forward. So like I said, it would have been nice if they had a few more of the different characters or a couple of key iconic scenes within the movie as well to build into that. But nevertheless, I've got the 2 of the series. It is a series of 2, so these are the only 2 allegedly that are going to come out as part of this silver and gold bullion kind of edition. So if you found this video informative and you like the kind of content and you like Star Wars, make sure you do give us a thumbs up for Dan the Collecting Man and for Star Wars. If you're not yet subscribed to Dan the Collecting Man, make sure you get that subscription in so we can look out to see what kind of cool silver and unique items are released within the next year. I'm really looking forward to 2025 as a fun year within coin and bullion collecting. And as always, thanks so much for watching and joining the coin collecting community. I'll catch you in my next video. Dan.